What we're talking about today is how to tie it all together with your content themes. And so the reason that we did your program offer first versus content, attention, engagement first is because you have to be super dialed in to your ideal client in order to know what to talk about in your content. And so last night, I did a 2 hour workshop for our 10K Grow clients. And so our Grow clients are people who already have their online business set up and they are actively in this, growth process. They're making sales even during COVID. They're making sales and they're growing their businesses. And so we did a version of this last night, planning out their April calendars. And so I'm going to take a little bit of what we do with our clients and apply it here for you today. So let's go back to your program offer. And one of the things that we said back someday last week was the question of what do your ideal clients need to know, believe, and understand in order to move them to a better position to work with you? And so there's some practitioners and coaches, especially those who are new to marketing, who post really vanilla, generic, surface level stuff. And even though you feel like you're working so hard, that kind of content isn't going to work. It's never worked. Well, maybe like in 2001 it worked.
I was going to say like maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe. Like not since I would say 2012. Yeah. Your content needs to be, first of all, sensitive to the current situation and specific to your ideal client. And so if we start at the top with if you sat down and made a list and said, okay, the problem that I solve for my clients is this. What is the problem? So if you're watching live, feel free to type it in. If you're watching on Instagram, put it in the comments. Tell me the problem that you solve for your ideal clients. If you're watching live on Facebook, hello, tell me the problem that you solve for your ideal clients. Then you take a piece of paper and you say to yourself, okay, what do they think that problem is? Why do they think that problem is being caused now? Why do they think nothing has worked? What have they tried? You go through their scenario, and every line item that you put down is content, right? So we need to understand their current position first, and then we can extrapolate, and you can answer these questions. So what are the 3 to 5 objections that they have right now during this season that's stopping them from working with you? What are the objections? If you are just getting started online or you've been online, this is something that you should be revisiting. Even if you're doing 100 grand, 200 grand a year, a month, whatever, this is something that you should be revisiting right now. What is their current objections? What is their current mindsets? What are the reasons they're going to give you right now that are a no instead of a yes? And that's really, really important because you have to be able to come back at them and tell them why that's false, right? So what are the 3 to 5 top objections that they're going to have? What are the 3 to 5 wrong things that they believe, right? Some, you call them limiting beliefs, myths, uneducated thinking, right? What are those? Hello, everyone. Good morning. What are those? Write them down, right? What are the 3 to 5 things that they've tried in the past that haven't worked? Why haven't they worked? So if you did 5 things for those 3 questions that I just asked you, that's 15 line items. That's 15 pieces of content that directly help you move them into a better position to purchase so that when you do put out an offer, they're in a better position. You've overcome objections, you've addressed, their wrong beliefs, their wrong thoughts. You've explained why what they were trying in the past hasn't worked, right? Hi, Laura. And you're able to then literally in their mind bring them to a better position to say yes to you. Do you want to maybe give some examples?
Yeah, totally. And I think in giving examples, this is where it's going to be really helpful for you guys, because one of the mistakes that we see when people are, going in and trying to create these line items, these pieces of content, is that they don't get specific enough. So with your content, you have to get super specific. You have to get into like the nitty gritty daily, we call them lived experiences of your client, in order for them to see themselves in that content and be able to extrapolate from it what you want them to extrapolate from it, right? So a good example, is say you're dealing in, let's go weight loss, because a lot of people deal in weight loss and it's something we can grab some good examples from. Say you're dealing in weight loss and, one of the objections is that they don't like diet food. So their objection is, I can't work with you because I don't like diet food. So therefore it won't work, right? If you want to speak to them, especially right now, if we take into like what's going on in the world, you can create specific content around how eating what's in your pantry now can actually allow you to lose weight, as long as you're eating it correctly at the right time, whatever it is you believe, whether it's intermittent fasting or whether it's, high carb, high fat, low carb, or high carb, low fat, or whatever it is, like whatever it is,
the air diet,
the air diet, whatever. You now need to create content that busts through that objection by showing them, hey, you can actually lose weight using what's in your pantry right now and not feeling hungry. Like that's specific. So now when somebody is consuming your content and then you have an offer out to, maybe get on a call to see if you're fit to work together, guess what? That person's not going to have the objection that they don't like diet food, because you've already proven that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Does that make sense to you guys? Is that good?
Yeah. And I'll give another example. So let's say that the problem that you solve is energy. So you're working with a really stressed out, tired niche, whether it's busy professional people, stay-at-home moms, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? If you don't address and explain why they're more tired now than ever before, and explain and use that to say more tired now than ever before, here's why, right? And you think about, let's just say that they're tired moms, okay? And you put yourself literally into their shoes and you think about, okay, what are 3 to 5 experiences that my moms are having right now that is causing them to feel more tired, more irritable, more overwhelmed, more depressed, not more like they want to just run away and never come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like fantasizing about, what if I just got in the car and like went north? Like what if right? Let's be honest. If you are a mother right now and you are not used to having your children home, you are feeling like that sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether you're tired or not. Addressing their actual issues right now and helping them to understand what's going on inside of their body, that inside of their mind. And so they all like that. They're like, yes, can we just all get in a car and go north and just be left alone for a day? Right? I feel you. Believe me, I feel you. So if you aren't addressing that, like that's the truth right now.
Yes.
Right. So, but if you're staying surface level, like, are you tired? You know, here's some healthy habits to help you improve your morning routine. Come on. Like that's not relevant right now. Right? Yeah. That's not relevant. So you have to scrap all of the surface level stuff that you were doing before and say, look, you are on 24/7. You are at the beck and call of your kids. You are now making 3 meals a day, which means 3 preps, 3 cleanups. You know, you're may or may not be getting help from the other human being who is an adult living in your home, right? It's all on you. Here's what's happening inside of your body, and explain it to them. Whether you deal in mindset or you deal in hormones or you deal in breath work, it doesn't matter, right? Your job is to educate them and to what do they need to know, what do they need to believe, and what do they need to understand in order to be brought to a better position to buy. So if you explain to them, hey, I know that you're on 24/7, and that's why I've opened up my one-on-one practice. That's why I took, the 2 most important modules from my signature offering and combine them for you so that I can help you address this and this and this right now, because my goal is to reduce the way that you feel by 50%. Look, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that we're going to fix your energy. You're stuck at home with your children. That ain't happening. Be real, be honest. But do you want to get through this time not yelling, not screaming, not feeling like an asshole of a mother, not shaming your children? Like, if that's the case, then we have to address this thing root cause. Right? And this is what needs to be happening in your content. Right? Versus here's some habits to help you, create a healthy nighttime routine. They're like, fuck the nighttime routine. I just want to drink my wine, watch the Netflix, and go to bed. Right? But it's your job to explain why that is harming them more than helping them.
Yes.
So take what they're doing, drinking the wine, watching the Netflix, not engaging with their partner, not doing the intimacy thing because they're just fucking done.
Yeah.
Right? Talk about that. How many of you have written posts literally hitting the nail on the head as to what your ideal clients are going through right now? Or are you still very surface level and giving them like, I know it's really hard right now, so here's 3 tips to help you stay hydrated through the day, right?
Like, I'm seeing a lot on social media right now too of people who don't deal in, immunity or gut health or XYZW, all of a sudden coming out with this generic content, like 10 top supplements to boost your immunity, and not tying it into their ideal client. So if you are doing content like that, if you work with tired moms, you can't just put out generic content that you think is relevant to the time. You have to tie it into who you work with and why it's so critical for them right now to follow whatever directive you're giving them. Right?
Yeah. So here's some content themes for you. And this is how we teach our clients to plan. So I want you to think about the key themes that you need to communicate to get your ideal clients to be in a better position to work with you. So maybe that's, again, objections. Like list all of the objections that they have right now. If you've done this before, I would do it again, right? Yeah. What are all the objections? So that's one theme, so that your individual posts can address the objections and explain how you've overcome them with your service, with your program, with your offer. Here's how we're going to address this. In the past, I've worked with a lot of clients and I saw this thing that they kept doing over and over and over again, which was stopping them from getting results, especially during this time right now. Here's why this is so critical for you to avoid. Right? And you could literally do that for every single objection. Yep. And then you tie it into how you've mitigated that objection with your program, with your service. So objections is one, limiting beliefs is another. So like the wrong things that they think, or the mindset stories, I've tried everything and nothing's worked. Well, why? Yes. Why has everything you've tried hasn't worked? Maybe also it's because they didn't put effort in. You can call them on that. You can say, is it possible that you are partly to blame, right? You can draw attention to that, but explain to them how you've built the structure of your system, of your program, of your service to support them, because you know where they're going to fall off, right? You know your ideal client so well, you know where they're going to fall off. So objections, limiting beliefs, past failures, that's another thing. If you wrote down literally every single thing that they've tried, you could explain to them why in each individual email and each individual post, why it doesn't work, right? Your own stories. So your backstory, we've talked about the stories, I think at the beginning of the week, your backstory, your trigger moment, your aha moment, the discovery that you made, right? That's a theme, right? So you have all of these brainstorms under the main theme. Another client wins, successes is another theme, right? Here, let me just go look at my benefits of the program. It's another theme. What are all the ways in which your program is going to help them get results? And don't say that you have a Facebook group, because that means nothing to people. Don't say that you have a 12-week 12 modules, because how are 12 modules going to get them results? It's what's in the modules, right? Yep. What are their desires, right? If, how are they showing up in a way that they feel proud of? Or, what do they want for themselves? Who do they want to transform into? And I think it's really important to understand that everybody has a perceived self-identity that they want, that they aspire to have. And so right now they're thinking and behaving in this way, but they have this identity of the person that they want to become. Somebody who thinks this way, and somebody who behaves this way, and somebody who doesn't do the things that they're currently doing now that makes them feel embarrassed and ashamed of themselves. Mm-hmm. Who is that person that they aspire to be? And how are you going to bridge the gap between the two? Right?
Yeah.
What else? Just fear in general. You can address their fears, right? Like maybe their fear is that they're going to gain weight. They're at home, they're kids, it's stressful, they're drinking more, they're eating more, they're snacking more, their normal routine is gone. Maybe their fear is that they're going to, end up hating their spouse. Maybe their fear is that they're going to hate their children, that they're going to end up yelling at their kids all the time. And their kids, even though they're in the same home and they're spending time together, they're not connected because they're so over the current situation. They don't even want to connect with their kids. They just need alone time. Like, what are their actual fears here? Right? Anything I'm forgetting? I think that's
that's a good summary.
So what we suggest that you do is go back and listen to this and literally write down all of the themes, and then under each theme, brainstorm. Sit in your client's vessel. Like, put yourself in their mind frame, put yourself in their home, put yourself in their body. Don't make assumptions from your perspective. Do it from their vantage point, right? And just brainstorm, and that's your content, so that your content moves them to a better position to say yes to you.
That's it.
And then in terms of like planning your content, literally take a calendar and just go, okay, today I'm going to talk about this. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. Yesterday we did calls to action. So if you pair the content with a call to action, you now have engaging content. That's going to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, don't overthink it. Don't stress out about, okay, in the calendar, should it be an email and then a post and then a live and then should I do 2 emails? Don't overthink it. It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. Just brainstorm, put out there. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yay. Okay. We're getting some thumbs up on Instagram. That's good. I know that writing content is slightly challenging for some people. Write as if you're writing a story to your best friend. That's my suggestion to you. what's not working right now that we're seeing is this third party style, non-personalized content, like not using the word I, like here, I'm thinking about you, like keeping it again so surface level, like, you know, I know you're struggling, so here's 3 tips to,
Yeah.
you know, reduce gut inflammation, right? That people are ignoring that right now.
Yes. And also just
yeah.
Read it out loud. Before you post it, read it out loud. If it doesn't sound like something you'd say talking to somebody, change it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like story form is better. Bullets are good. Erin saying, I'm working on my program for parents dealing with anxiety and exhaustion from a parent with pandas. Yesterday, I posted a blog titled How to Reduce Reactivity and Respond Healthfully, Blood Sugar Management, LOL. I feel like this was helping solve a problem the ideal client didn't know that they have, but would resonate with reading. Was this giving too much info as what would be in my program? I wouldn't even worry about it right now. I wouldn't worry ever about duplicating some of the content that's in your program and giving it away for free. And we've had people that do this, resourceful people. If you listen to certain podcasts of mine, you could put together your signature program without paying me a dime. Like, we teach it for free because we know that there's a certain percentage of people that want our help anyway, right? So I would never worry about that. My call to action wasn't too specific because I didn't have a program launched. That's okay. I think how to reduce reactivity and respond healthfully. So I don't know. So let's just go titles. I don't know your ideal client. Is that a sentence they would ever say? Like, can you help me reduce reactivity? Maybe, I don't know. But that's clinical language. So maybe change the actual headline to something like how to stop the meltdowns without yelling, right?
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we try to be too professional, and your ideal client might not even resonate with that because that's not language they would use. That's language you as the professional would use. More free content with good quality information is better than less. So that's my take on that. Maya's saying, I'm going to go live on my page every day as of next week, providing real life tips. Yep, that you do with your husband. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yes, to help my IC in a realistic way. This way I can help them and hear from them. Sorry, I got a text message. What they need from me so I can provide better content. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. That's a great idea, right? That's a fantastic idea. So we've given you some serious action steps here in yesterday's content. So the live from yesterday, Instagram, if you missed it, go over to my Facebook page because it's there in the video section, because these things only stay for 24 hours. And watch these two, watch yesterday's and today's together. Watch them together, sit with a paper and pen and take notes, and then write, create, go live. Don't overthink it. Just freaking do it. Just put it out. Erin saying, yes, I hear you. The title is too clinical for the content. I use the language you suggest, like talking to friends. Perfect. Awesome. That's amazing. So we just want to make sure that we're using always language. Ask yourself, has anyone ever said this to me? Has any ideal client ever said, can you, Erin, can you please help me reduce reactivity? If the answer is no, it's not a good title, right? Like if the answer is no, no one has ever said this to you in that way. And the one that we always sort of like to sarcastically mock is the word vitality.
Yes.
Has anyone ever come to you and said, will you please help me increase my vitality? Likely not, right? No. Likely not. No. So if no one has ever said that to you, then you're making that language up and it's not going to resonate with your ideal client. So we really hope. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's good.
Okay, cool. We hope that this was helpful. Tomorrow, we're going to do a full summary and just give you some examples of clients of ours and how they've tied all of the lead magnet and the nurture and all of that stuff together. So we will see you again tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.